things in both of their games that you almost feel pressure to meet their expectations. What did you see in both their games that you feel that they could be outstanding players?
Well, neither one of the guys were afraid. And I mean this, from the first practice, first game, those guys stepped on the floor. They had an attitude that they belong. And, you know, that's what you want from your rookies. You don't want guys going out there thinking, oh, I'm playing against such and such, or I'm playing against Tim Duncan, or I'm playing against, you know, LeBron James. You want those guys to go out there and establish what we want to do as a team. And I thought they did that from the start. They're both versatile, but versatile in different ways. There's things in Quincy's game that I didn't know he could do. And I'm watching him play this past week in practice. He was really good coming off screens, catch and shoot, better handling the ball than I thought. He was versatile in his passing, meaning he could make an entry pass to the post. He can also make passes in the fast break, and that was pretty nice to see. Craig, you know, he's a guy that can play inside out. He can shoot the ball to the three-point line with confidence. You know, some guys are out there and their shot changes. His shot didn't change, and as the week went on, he just got better and better. And defensively, there's some things that they do well. They got to improve defensively, but there's some things that they bring to the table as far as quickness and athletic ability and the ability to switch and guard different positions, I think, are going to help us.
These are older guys, too, that obviously played a big part
right.
in liking to have them here. The guys that stayed in college and learned and matured.
You know, if you look around the league, the guys who are really having a sustained impact are the guys that have been in college for longer than 1 or 2 years. And my example, because it's so close to me, is Brandon Roy. You know, he's one of the top 5 players in the league, but people forget that he was in college for a while. And, you know, the guys that stay there for a long time, those guys go through stuff. They know how to be coached. They've been yelled at more than one time, and they haven't been allowed to leave school because they got yelled at. And I think that's something that they bring to the table, is a maturity level that will help us during tough times.
I know on tape you saw how well Brackins can shoot the ball.
Mm-hmm.
When you see it live, were you even more impressed about his range and just with ease? I mean, he can knock it down and has the confidence for a big guy to just take it out there and knock it down.
Yeah, but, you know, when you think about that, not only is it his shooting, but 9 times out of 10, he's taking the best rebounder away from the basket, or one of the best rebounders. So when you look at him shoot the ball, as long as he is, the thing that I've harped on him about is believing that shot is going to go in every time, and shooting the same shot, no matter if it's Atlanta, Utah, San Antonio, it's the same shot every night. And with his length and his athletic ability, he's going to be able to fake that shot and get to the basket and get to the free throw line, because a lot of times power forwards are not going to want to guard him way out there, and then that could cause a switch when they want to put a small forward on him, and then we can put him down in the post as he gets more comfortable.
Is he perhaps more NBA ready of the two when you look at their games, like what you see so far?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think they're both at the same level as far as being ready, and we'll have more to say about that once we get into camp. You know, who they played against in the summer league, that's not who you're going to see during the season. So I think, you know, we'll make that assessment in October.
Have you talked to Chris at all? I know you said you were going to talk to him. Have you had a chance to talk to him since the summer league ended, or, you know, at all?
No, I have not talked to Chris. And he's, you know, look, I don't want to beat Chris down every week or so, you know, asking him about this and that, and I don't want to hear it from him. It's the summertime. We're going to have our time together. And what I did hear from Chris, and somebody told me about it, was that he was talking to Marcus and Darren about the way we did things, and he was excited about that. But this is Chris's time, summertime, to spend with his family and rehab and work and get himself ready to play.
With the next step being maybe getting a GM in here, how anxious are you to do that so you can, because the talk is that no moves are going to be made unless the GM's in here, to take that next step with him and start looking for some players for now?
You know, again, it's exciting for me because I'm looking at the 2 rookies who are coming in with me, and now a GM who's going to come in and work with me and Hugh to move us in the right direction, or continue to move us in that direction. I'm excited, but do we want to hurry? No, because we don't want to make a mistake. And again, I've always been the type to trust Hugh, Mr. Shin, and Mr. Schwest to do that job, and whoever's in place there, I just think that the future is really bright for us because of Craig and Quincy, and because we're going to do some things that we may never have done before.
What role will your familiarity with Dell Demps and Kevin Pritchard be in the GM search?
Say that again?
What role will your familiarity with Dell Demps and Kevin Pritchard be?
What role is my I mean, I know those guys. I work with Kevin. I played with Dell 15 or 16 years ago. So, and I've known those guys for a number of years. But I also know a number of the candidates that have been interviewed. So I wouldn't say me knowing the guys gives anybody, extra weight or preference. I just, these are guys that I know from my past.
Does having a past relationship with them help if one of them are hired for the job? Does that help, you think?
No, I think so. I think that, because we have some common ground from our past, it certainly helps. I played with Dell, and everybody knows what happened in Portland. We did some pretty good stuff up there, and Kevin Pritchard had a lot to do with that. And so, I think it helps, but I'm sure that it's not a deal breaker.
Some of the news recently has been portrayed rather negative way, with the Jeff Bauer, the Luther Head situation, all the talk about Chris Paul. Is it a distraction in any way? Do you have to talk to the team about it? Do you address it at all, or do you just kind of say it's just the media and don't worry about it?
No, I wouldn't want to say it's just the media. You guys would kill me after that, but I just think in this economy, with what's going on in the world, it's so silly to get up in arms about some of these issues. When you think about the jobs that have been lost down south and what's going on in this city, it's something to talk about, but to me, it's not that big of a deal. I've been through tougher stuff than that, and these are just things we have to deal with. It's part of the job.
Collison and Thornton may have had the biggest impact as a duo of rookies in the league last year. Do you think that Craig and Quincy can do much the same this year?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't want to put that kind of pressure on those two. What I will say is they're going to have to really work for our team to be successful. And if they can have, that kind of success, great. But the thing that I've talked to Darren and Marcus about is they didn't make the playoffs last year. And so that basket was a little bit bigger as the season wore on, because essentially you're not playing with the same weight on your games as someone like a Jeff Pendergraft or a Dante Cunningham who played in Portland, who, we made a playoff run last year. So what I'm trying to impose on those guys is, you put up a lot of stats last year, but the best stat is the win-loss column and what we need to do to get to the playoffs.
Thank you.